Olivia, and welcome back to Live in Literature. Thank you so much for all the love and support I received on my last video, and if you have not seen it yet, feel free to head on over to my channel to check it out.
From viewers like you, thank you.
Well guys, thank you so much for that amazing introduction to the new year with 2022. I'm so excited to be here. And I'm so excited that you guys were able to enter the giveaway. Please continue to do so. I have no idea when I'm going to be uploading this video. I think it's going to be before the giveaway is over.
You bet your bottom dollar the giveaway is over, and it's way past the time when you said you were going to upload this video. Naughty Olivia. Ugh, that Olivia, she's a real rascal. Anyways, I'd like to say congratulations to our 3 giveaway winners, Rebecca Anderson, Haley Mon, and Cambry Clark. Thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for supporting me on my channel. I will be sending you guys a copy of your books very, very soon, so congratulations. I love you the most.
Thank you for being a friend.
And today, guys, we are having a very fun and special little video that I'm doing, and this is going to be the most surprising books of 2021.
It's a surprise tool that can help us later.
So I know that last week I posted my top 10 best books of 2021, and those were the top best. Those were the best ones. Those are the ones that I thought deserved the best of the best ratings.
I'm the best in the nation.
But there were also a lot of other amazing books that I read last year, not all of them particularly that came out in the year 2021, but I read last year. So I'm saying that they were the most surprising reads of last year, but some of them that did come out last year that I didn't talk about because they weren't a complete 5-star. They were like a 3 or a 4, but they're still like...
She not making sense to anyone else? Because I'm really confused and I'm editing. And she's me, so...
So this video is the most surprising reads of 2021, so let's get started. Okay, so here are the books we're going to be talking about today. Let's do this thing. The first one I want to talk about is a new YA fantasy book on the market that's going to be I think it's going to might be a duology or a trilogy. I'm not sure yet. And that is Skin of the Sea by Natasha Bowen. So I read Skin of the Sea like right before 2022 started. And it was like one of the new YAs that I've been wanting to read for a while because it is a African-based myth, mermaid, fairy tale YA.
Wow, that's a lot of words.
And you're like, whoa, what does that even mean? So this one kind of came out of nowhere. This one was super like hidden under wraps up until the point when it was like being released. And I was like, oh, what is this book that everyone's talking about? Like Skin of the Sea, like what does that mean? Like for some reason recently, I've been reading a lot of like
mermaid themed books, which like, I don't know why. Don't get me wrong, mermaids are amazing. Love a good mermaid.
Ariel, listen to me. The human world, it's a mess.
But this one just like really caught my eye because it is based around African mythology, which I don't know a lot about, and it was so interesting learning a lot about this African mythology. So basically, to give you guys a quick plot summary, Skin of the Sea is about a young girl named Simi who basically ends up serving this goddess called Mamiwata, and if I'm mispronouncing the goddess's name, I'm so sorry to all my readers out there. I don't mean to be mispronouncing it. This is just what it looks like in here. And Mamiwata is the collector of dead souls that get thrown into the ocean. They collect the souls and send them back to like the higher gods. And Mamiwata is this goddess who like has all of these girls who have become mermaids essentially. They've like sold their souls, not really, but like they've given their lives up, their like normal mortal lives to be mermaids that serve Mamiwata by collecting the souls. And one day while Simi is out in the water, she sees a boy get thrown from a boat. And he's actually alive instead of dead, and instead of taking his soul, she takes him back to her island to like revive him essentially. But this ends up breaking this like sort of creed and code that like the Mamiwata are not allowed to break. And so Simi has to go on this journey, like basically fighting against the gods and time with this young boy who also has some like connection with the gods, and like he's kind of sus, but like also really cute. And this was just a really fun like YA mythology journey that I was like not expecting. Like it was a super unexpected story. It was a story that was like really original and unique. It was about mermaids, which I love, and it's like I feel like mermaids are a super like interesting mythology character that doesn't get talked about a lot, so it was really interesting. I enjoyed Simi's character and learning about her like backstory and her past. There is going to be a second book. I don't know about a third, but there will definitely be a second one. This one ends kind of like on a little bit of a cliffhanger slash like it gives you like a little bit of the next book so you kind of know what's going down. And it's going to be intense. Like I'm scared, but I'm excited. So there's that one for you.
The next one I want to talk about is a book that did not come out in 2021, but I read last year. And I would be remiss if I did not talk about it. Like, this book is a 5-star read if I've ever read one. And you guys might already know who I'm going to be saying. Oh, you might be thinking I'm saying SJM, but I'm not.
You tricked me!
I'm saying Amy Harmon, and it is from Sand and Ash by Amy Harmon. Yes, I love Amy Harmon. She's one of the greatest authors ever. And I'm slowly going through more of like her book, like discography essentially, and like going through what the books that she's written. And this was one of them. This is one of the books that I like just haven't gotten to at this point. And this was an incredible book.
Aren't you milking this a bit?
This is a World War II romance that takes place in Italy with a young girl named Ava, who is essentially living in Italy during World War II. And this is when she's Jewish and her family is Jewish. And this is when the Jews are essentially getting thrown in concentration camps. And so Ava's in love with a young boy named Angelo. And Angelo is a part of the church though, and he wants to be a priest, a part of the Catholic Church. And Catholics and Jews like don't mix essentially. But he is like an undercover, like kind of like underground railroad situation for the Jews to like hide them and harbor them because of what is happening and the persecution. And basically it's also a romance between Ava and Angelo and like their feelings
for one another, but also like they can't be together, but like they want each other, and it's like a whole forbidden romance thing that I absolutely live for.
That is very, very hot to me.
This book will make you cry. Warning, content warning. This book will make you cry. I sobbed and sobbed and sobbed for several reasons while reading this. A lot of them having to do with the brutality and the horribleness that was World War II and the genocide of the Jews. Absolutely horrific. And like this book, I feel like does a really great job paying homage to those people and paying homage to that history. The romance in this book is utterly devastating and heartbreaking. It's literally like the saddest thing I've ever read in my life. It's so heartbreaking.
Well, I'm convinced.
Devastating. This book is raw. It's honest. It is like, it's war times and you're seeing this romance go through the impacts of war and how like things are fast and like you take what you can when you can get it, and that not everything's always going to be there, and it's just kind of like you're starving and you're scavenging for like any morsel scraps to like hold on to, hope to hold on to. And this flourishing romance between Ava and Angelo is like all that they have. Like it's all that they're holding on to at this point.
That's so upsetting.
And I just absolutely love this book. If you are looking for a historical romance, I cannot recommend this one enough. I absolutely loved it. You have to read it. Next, I want to talk about an absolutely brilliant fantasy book that was written this year by one of my most favorite authors, and that is Gilded by Marissa Meyer.
Gilded is about a young girl named Cyrilda who was essentially cursed from birth to lie. And she's not that she's a total liar, it's just that when she tells her stories, she kind of embellishes and she fibs a little bit. She was cursed with this like gift of essentially, people call it a curse because her eyes like have like the spinning wheel of like, I can't remember, people talk about that, she's like the spinning wheel of like a curse on her, and so people always look in her eyes and they're like, whoa, like you're cursed obviously, because she just has like magic eyes. But she was cursed with this ability to like lie and like story tell, but like kind of like fib her way through it. And one day the Goblin King is on his wild hunt, and he stops by Cyrilda's house at one point, and she lies straight to his face. And in return, the Goblin King invites Cyrilda back to his palace to spin straw into gold. I think you're getting kind of what this fairy tale is based on.
And when she's in this, the Goblin King's palace trying to spin straw into gold, a young boy stumbles upon her and wants to help. And so this was a super interesting book to read. My only qualms with it, and the reason why it wasn't in my like 5-star like best books of 2021, is because the pacing was a little bit weird. I thought the pacing of the book was just kind of slightly strange. Like there were a lot of things that I felt like could have been cut and like didn't need to be in the book. And I felt like it lacked some like drive and some movement. And also it kind of lacked a little bit of like relationship development between Cyrilda and this boy who, yeah, it just kind of like, it's not as like,
let me add a little bit of spice to that.
It's not sparkly. It's not a very like sparkly, polished romance. It's very like rough around the edges, but it gets really intense at the end. Like it does get intense. And her relationship between her and this boy is just like, it gets pretty serious, like pretty quick. And I don't always love that when you like rush into a romance. I like it when there's like a really like nice build to it and you can see the foundation and it's really like hearty.
I like a big dinner.
This one was pretty watery. But I still am excited because there is going to be a second book. Cannot wait. It ends like on kind of a major cliffhanger. Super big deal. And so I really enjoyed this one. I think Marissa Myers has an amazing talent for writing fairy tale retellings, and she does them the best. Overall, I love Marissa Meyer. I love everything that she writes, and I'll read anything that she writes. And I'm so happy that she wrote this. This was one of the most surprising reads of 2021, and I really, really enjoyed it. So I hope you guys will all go check this one out. Next, we have a very, very unique book that I don't think a lot of people are talking about, and everyone I feel like is kind of sleeping on it a little bit.
Anna, go back to sleep. I just can't.
This is one that I really liked for some reason, and this is Half Sick of Shadows by Laura Sebastian. Now, Half Sick of Shadows. This is a book, a King Arthur retelling. Oh, so fun. We have the Camelot and the whole shebang.
Hail, King Arthur! Hail, King Arthur! Long live the king!
This one deals with basically like the 5 best friends of Camelot. It's Arthur, Lancelot, Guinevere, Morgana, and of course one that you don't really hear a lot about, which is Elaine. She's known as Lily Maid, and in the Camelot like lore and mythology about Lily Maid is that she was like Mad Lily Maid, basically because she was like an oracle and she can see into the future. And that is what this book is all about. This is her story. So throughout the entire book, you are kind of you're following Elaine's story and her like background as she became Lily Maid essentially. And then you're kind of seeing like snippets of her brain going back and forth between like what is going to happen or what could happen in the future with Camelot.
When are we?
The real question is, when are we? Oh, wait, did you already?
I already.
'Cause I was.
Yeah.
Or like things like different paths that like could be taken eventually in this like group's essential saga. And like the biggest one that she predicts, which is part of Camelot lore and legend, is the downfall of Morgana and how she essentially like turns evil and turns against her brother Arthur. So like this book I think is really, really well written. I think the story, like the world building element is super, super like, it's really precise, and it's like, I feel like it's really articulate, and I feel like I can see things really clearly. I really liked the personalities of all the characters. I really liked getting to see like each of their backgrounds and like all of them like coming together as like this like misfit group of friends.
We're a couple of misfits. We're a couple of misfits.
The only thing, and this is one of the reasons why I think the reviews have been so like mixed bag about this one, the only review thing or the thing that bothers me a lot about this one is the ending. I feel like there wasn't a very clear ending. I felt like the ending just like kind of left me wanting more. I wanted to see everything happen. The ending, I will admit, was very unexpected. It's not what I thought it was going to be at all. It was super, super unexpected. And it definitely like shocked me. But I was honestly disappointed because I wanted to see how everything got resolved, and I feel like it just kind of left you like in the middle of it, and you're like, well, this is kind of like your own interpretation. Like, what do you think happened? And I don't really like that.
He says, I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
It just could have been better. But overall though, I think this is a really interesting book. I think this book gives you a lot of like insight on like people and their perspectives and their personalities, and just like how like people are people, and that like none are inherently good or inherently bad. They're just like a mix of like everything. And I really enjoyed this one. I think it's really, really great. I think it's one that like more people should read so they can like understand it. I learned a lot about Camelot and that mythology and like lore and stuff, which I think is super interesting. Overall, a really good book. I think when I rated it, I gave it like 3 stars, but I think it's really, really good, and it's definitely worth your time. The ending though is kind of a downfall, but overall, really fun read. So that is all the book recommendations that I have for you guys today. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you enjoyed this video. And if you did, do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Live in Literature YouTube channel. But thank you guys so much for watching and joining me here again today. I love you the most, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.